You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
You're listening to the Niagara Wrestling Observer, your Niagara region source for trending topics, entertaining discussions, and pay-per-view analysis within the world of professional wrestling. Here are your hosts, Corporate Cappy and Kyle Masters.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Niagara Wrestling Observer, right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network, your source for North American sports coverage by sports fans, for sports fans, delivered to you right here in the beautiful Niagara region. You can follow us on Twitter at Armchair GMs Pod, like us on Facebook at Armchair GM Sports Network, and then you can follow our website, our beautiful website with articles and podcasts and more at armchairgmsports.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also available on Spreaker. That is Spreaker.com/the Armchair GM Sports Network. We have all other outlets as well, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you're finding your podcast out there, you can find the Armchair GM Sports Network. And I am your host of the Niagara Wrestling Observer. I am Kyle Masters, and I am always joined by my co-host. He is the boss, I guess you can say, Mr. Corporate himself. This is Corporate Cappy.
Can't wait to talk about some good wrestling, some WWE, some
some
ThunderDome,
Impact.
brother.
Some Impact.
I don't know if we're at the Silver Dome or the ThunderDome, but regardless, WWE ThunderDome is a thing.
ThunderDome, brother. They got to get Hulk Hogan to come back to do that one time. Just one time. I don't care how much backlash it gets. Come back and just, welcome to the ThunderDome, brother.
Right.
Say Silver Dome by accident.
Yeah.
And then all
and
the
then
Guess Who
himself.
people around the arena there. Boo.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, it's good to be back talking some good old wrestling on today's show.
Yeah, we had a little bit of weak hiatus. There was we're running a sports network here, so we got a lot of other sports to talk about. So wrestling comes up once in a while. We'll do a Niagara Wrestling Observer episode, and our alter egos come out, our Kyle Masters and Corporate Cappy.
I mean it's our kayfabe names, you know?
Yeah, can't break kayfabe anymore.
No, can't.
It happens too much. It happens really a lot more than it should, I think, in pro wrestling in general.
It does. I mean, look at social media, you know?
Oh, God. So, like, wrestling Twitter is, like, the greatest / worst place in the entire world. It's honestly like a I guess you can say, crapshoot some days. Like, it's just like, some days you log on, you read, like, 2 things, and you're like, yep, that's it for today. And then you go on, you're like, oh, look at this. Ooh, and you sit there going,
yeah, some stuff that happens on wrestling Twitter, I just shake my head. That's why I can only handle small doses of it. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, but jam-packed show today, guys. We're going to talk about the ThunderDome, brother. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about can't do really the ratings wars today because the shows were split, so we'll briefly talk about that. We'll talk about the SummerSlam, or scam to some, depending on what side you're on in the wrestling community. And then we'll just talk some other news. There's a couple of snippets we can give our opinions on, especially some creepy people out there doing creepy things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give them a loser's horn for that. So we'll take our first commercial break here, guys, and we'll be right back here on the Niagara Wrestling Observer. Niagara Wrestling Observer, and right back here on the Armchair GMs Sports Network.
Carmine's Pizzeria Italiano, serving traditional-style Italian pizzas made with the freshest, top-quality ingredients. Loaded subs and their famous chicken wings. Winners of the Reader's Choice Diamond Award, 4 years running from Niagara this week for Best Pizza and Wings in Niagara Falls. Home of the best tray and wing combo in town for the price and quality. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m., located on the corner of Drummond Road and Dunn Street. Available for call-ahead pickup or delivery at 905-374-4400. Make sure to like them on Facebook and view their website for their menu at carmine'spizzeria.ca. Carmine's Pizzeria Italiano. Way too good. As we all adjust to this new world that we're living in today, masks are now mandatory, and Niagara's own Custom PPE is Canada's leading face mask provider. Visit them online at customppe.ca and choose between several mask options with different colors and sizes. Add your organization, company, or team logo so you make your face masks unique. Available to purchase online 24/7 at customppe.ca and shipped within 1 week. They have the best prices and quickest turnaround in Canada, and no order is too big or too small. Also offering custom floor stickers as well as face and counter shields for your business or workplace. Visit customppe.ca and use the code ARMCHAIR at checkout for 20% off your custom or blank face mask today. Custom PPE, Canada's leading face mask provider. Attention job seekers, if you are currently looking for work in the Niagara region, you owe it to yourself to check out the services provided by the Niagara Employment Help Center, located at 6100 Thoroldstone Road, Niagara Falls, directly across from the Camisos Plaza. Their free services include resume and cover letter writing, community resource and referral information, local labor market information, job search strategies, assistance with clarifying employment training and career goals, employment counseling and job search support, second career information and registration assistance, and all their services are currently provided by appointment only. So give them a call at 905-358-0021 or visit their website at ehc.on.ca, the Niagara Employment Help Center. This Employment Ontario program is funded by the Government of Ontario.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Niagara Wrestling Observer right here in the Armchair GM Sports Network, your source for North American sports coverage by sports fans for sports fans. And make sure if you're from the Niagara region, you are checking out your local sponsors and your local, I guess, everything, especially in this time of the world. But make sure you're checking out the sponsors here for the Armchair GM Sports Network. I want to thank them each and every single day for sponsoring us here in the network and keeping us on the air, keeping us going. Just like WWE keeps going with these crazy new ideas. Hey, Corporate Cappy.
Oh, I mean, first we had, the Performance Center, and now we're moving into the ThunderDome, brother.
Oh, yes. This is
such good shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, can we talk about the ThunderDome first?
Yeah, we'll jump right into it.
All right.
As well. It's an easy subject.
That was easy
to talk about.
All right.
Let's go.
So the ThunderDome. Again, this is coming from a WWE, mark, and I'm the biggest WWE, I guess, backer, as you can say, or sheep if Kyle wants to call me that. But yeah,
I don't have a sheep.
Calm down there, AEW. But anyways, I can't even give them credit for this. This just, the second I looked at it, I couldn't imagine what the wrestlers were thinking. The fact that that must be so distracting for them and the viewers watching at home. It literally, the second I saw it, I texted Kyle and I said, it literally looks like a giant game of Guess Who. If you ever played that little board game, I don't even know if he called it a board game.
Who has not played this game? I'd say maybe if you were born in 2005 and later, you probably have no idea what the hell we're talking about. But anyone before that knows Guess Who. That creepy game with the creepy cartoon faces that you flip down and you had to guess the other person's guy. And I just remember being a kid and there are kids who just knew I guess you can say the cheat code as to to get down. There were certain questions you could ask that I don't think were legal, but we were kids that literally ended the game in less than 2 minutes. But that's what it looked like.
That's what the ThunderDome look, and it's all the way around the arena.
I think they could have done a way better job at doing this. I know they took ideas obviously from sports, obviously with, I guess you can factor in the paper cutouts from baseball and the NBA doing a similar style, but the NBA I think has done it the right way. Not all the way around the damn arena. That's just what? It just looks so weird. It looks so weird. Again, like you said, it's probably so distracting. Can you imagine wrestling there? And you're sitting there in a hold and you're looking around at little white squares or whatever background people might have all the way around you.
My thing with that is how do they choose these people? How do they choose who the goons are going to be in the crowd? And second of all, we talked about it in the pre-show prep, without getting into too much detail about it, what if there was I hope there's somewhat of a delay where people couldn't start to do inappropriate things like they're on some of these chat rooms where they, show some.
It was basically like chat roulette. We're not gonna get chat roulette screens put up there.
Yeah, like what happens if people start acting like goons with this stuff? Like, I hope they have like a 30-second delay or something where some guy whips out his Moscow moose knuckle that they can edit that out.
He's in the front row and look at my Dwayne Johnson here.
Yeah. Val Venus.
Can you imagine it's at a time where there's the barricade spots where the wrestler's like has his arms over the barricade, and then it's the exact moment the guy behind flops out his what?
Well, you know what? I'm sure to get on this thing, you probably have to give a lot of your personal information, and they'd probably fine you or like get you, arrested for.
Yeah, I'm sure they're tracking your IP address, which is weird and probably not legal, but they're probably doing it somehow.
Kevin Dunn's ready to edit that thing really fast. Right. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. This just seems weird. I feel bad for the wrestlers because I'm sure it's distracting as all hell. But it's just, I don't know how this is gonna work. I really don't think that this is the right thing. I mean, it makes the entrances look cooler, I guess, because they can black out everything. But other than the entrances, I don't see where this is appealing to anybody.
I think that maybe we'd have to hope that the wrestlers are trained to a point to just, kind of like keep that out as a distraction. Like they do the kind of the same like with real crowds there, but this is horrible. This is like it's really hard to like not get distracted by those screens, especially because they're so close and I think there could have been a better way to do this, I think, in my eyes. I think they could have done like NBA style, you know what I mean? Like you have maybe like a limited number of screens with maybe not as many fans. Maybe because it just looks. I think it looks more weird with more little squares. I think if there were less little squares, it'd be a little bit better. But they're trying to simulate obviously like hundreds of people there, and they're kind of like it's another marketing ploy to get people to watch, right? Because it's easy. You just sign up. Like you literally go to the website, you sign up, you see if you can get in. They send you an email link, and that's it. You know what I mean? And then I guess from what I've read from people's accounts that have done it, they said there's literally a producer on your, like not on your screen, you can't see them, but there's a producer telling you guys like when you're coming back from commercial and like cheering and all that stuff. So like they even have a producer telling you what to do. Like really?
Yeah, I think the NBA again, they just have limited number of screens. It's only in like certain sections. It's not all the way around, up and down the entire arena.
Yeah. It looks weird as hell. Again, giant game of, what was the game called? Clue, or not Clue. Guess who? Guess who?
Clue, that'd be terrible.
Oh God. But yeah, the Thunderdome, brother. I guess you like they sent out the tweet today to join the Thunderdome for Raw for Monday. You register for your virtual seat at WWEThunderdome.com. And then they said it says when you do like register, it says we'll send you an email link with the link to join on the day of the show. Seats are available at first come, first serve until seats fill up. Once you're in the WWE Thunderdome, you will join other fans who will appear live on digital video boards during the show. So it's interesting. It's definitely a different approach to it. They got permission to use the Amway Center now instead of the PC. So it's, we're getting the big set, right? We're getting a less closer feel. I just don't know, man. It's not even real crowd noise either. It's piped in crowd noise. You're not getting authentic crowd noise either, and it's pretty hard to do with like 1 million people on a Zoom call. So
I did see that somebody put a teddy bear in their screen.
Oh, that's funny. That's cool because I've seen some of that like with the baseball cardboard cutouts. Like I've seen people like put their dogs up there and stuff.
Yeah, well, baseball they actually have real teddy bears in the crowd. One got beamed in the schnoz with one the other day.
Poor teddy bear. Hope medical attention was on scene. But yeah, Thunderdome. I don't know how I feel about it. I watched a little bit of it last night, SmackDown. It was weird. It was really, really weird. Not sure how I felt about the piped in crowd noise either, though. But that's kind of like with all sports now. It's kind of like the thing is piped in crowd noise. It's gonna be interesting. I want to know how they're going to improve. I imagine they'll improve on it, like week week by week. Obviously, this is going to generate a big rating because everyone wanted to tune in and see how it was like. So today, obviously, SmackDown is going to get like I could say they'll probably get close to a 3 million rating last night. But then it's going to be how are you going to keep that rating as the weeks go on, as MLB transitions into playoffs. The Stanley Cup playoffs are continuing. NFL season's about to start.
The NBA playoffs.
Yeah, the NBA playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see how they keep that going forward and maybe improving on it, because it was definitely something.
Oh. For me, it gets a thumbs down, unfortunately, for WWE. As much as I want to give them credit, I can't. It just did not do anything for me except just give me a giant headache. So for that, I give it a thumbs down. Something that we didn't discuss we haven't discussed in a few weeks is the Raw Underground. And I remember on the last episode that you and I were discussing, and you gave it a big thumbs down. I said I wasn't going to shell over it till I saw, what they were going to do continuing with it. I mean, they had Shayna Baszler like kick two girls' ass in there. I mean, that was kind of cool. But what are your thoughts on the Raw Underground, since it's had a few weeks to breathe now?
It's not. I don't think it's as popular as they want it to be. Like, no one's talking about it all week. People talk about it, like when it's on Raw, but it's not. Obviously, the plan was to like have it like talked about all week, like people talking about it and can't wait for the next Raw Underground. From what I've gathered in the wrestling community, it's not clicking. It's not. There's obviously the people out there will give every excuse in the book to like anything WWE will put on. I don't know how they, but I don't know. I'm serious though. Like, how, like, you're allowed to have a negative opinion about something, but it's like these people just won't, because they love WWE so much, so they won't generate a negative opinion. Like, I have my negative opinions about AEW. Like, the AEW is allowing people back in. I still don't think that's the right idea. I think that's wrong. I don't care how you space them out. People should not be let in.
There's something that Vince has done right. You got to give him credit for that. What do you mean Vince has
done right? He hasn't tested since March. He first tested in June. It took him 4 months and half the people getting COVID.
He hasn't let fans back in, though, so he can't say it's all about the money.
Oh, yeah. It's all right. You got $2 billion of it from Fox. You just need the money. Getting $2 billion
no more
Fox.
Such good
No
shit.
more XFL, so, I mean, The Rock bought it. So
oh,
we'll
yeah.
see how that goes.
There you go. He's going to make his money from the buyer.
Yeah.
They made more money in their first quarter than they did last year's first quarter, and there was COVID. They're not losing money. It's not all about the money.
It is, though. So yeah, Raw Underground. I don't
Horrible.
know. I still don't understand like what
dumb
the purpose
idea.
What purpose does it serve though? Like that's my thing. Like, are they actually going to create storylines out of this? Like, besides the Hurt Business that one week coming out and business is a booming. Like, what else did we get from that?
Nothing. You can't do. I said it last week. You cannot do shoot wrestling. Shoot real fighting in fake wrestling. It does not go. It's just you don't do that.
We need
so
to have
stupid.
a Raw. We need to have a Raw Underground match on the pay-per-view. That's what we need.
I can't. It does not make sense. Again, it's like doing WWE fake wrestling in UFC. It just does not happen. It never will happen. It's not a wrestling show. It's a mixed martial arts show. They actually beat the crap out of each other. WWE, they beat the crap out of each other, but it's staged. It's predetermined. It's wrestling. We know what professional wrestling is. You cannot do that type of UFC MMA style in wrestling. The no ropes thing, beating the crap out of it just doesn't fit. Does not fit.
Well, this might segue good into our next topic here, which is maybe it was Bruce Pritchard's idea, which is why he's now moving to SmackDown, reportedly.
Yikes. And then Shane is apparently taking over for, and that's a Vince decision. Vince is like, no, I want my seed to be in there for Raw.
No, he wants the best in the world on Monday Night Raw, clearly. I mean, Shane started the whole Raw.
Stop with this best in the world crap.
He was
it's not
for a year.
The best in the world. That was some dumb thing they did to shoot CM Punk down.
No, it was to make Shane credible as a top heel, obviously.
Yeah, by using a slogan that was used by literally one of their most popular superstars of all time.
Yeah, but he didn't have, Greg Hamilton and Mike Rome saying his intro like Shane did, where they had to like say it for like 2 minutes straight.
It was dumb. The whole Shane McMahon the Shane McMahon best in the world thing is something you forget about that WWE does like the PG era. You don't remember that. That's something that never happened.
It was great. So now the best in the world's moving to Raw as far as creative, and I think that'll be good. I think Shane, you know what, and taking bias out of it, I think Shane will have some good ideas and have some good input.
I hope so.
Because when he came back, everybody was like, "Oh my God, this is going to be a new, fresh ideas." Because Shane thinks outside the box compared to his dad, and you know what, Shane hopefully has his pulse on what's going on and with the fans, and he's a businessman himself, so he knows what buys and what doesn't, or what sells and what doesn't. So I think Shane being a major part of WWE creative will be a good thing in the long run.
Except again, I think this is said. What you just said, Brandon, is said every single time someone new comes into creative. People said it with Paul Heyman. People said it with Eric Bischoff. People said it with everybody that walked into the creative. But it all comes down to one person in the end and his ideas being approved over a 30-man creative team. And that is Vince McMahon and what he thinks.
This is such good shit.
That's it. You can put anyone. You can put The Rock at the head of creative for Raw, and it will still come down to Vince McMahon. He listens to nobody. He will listen to you if you like his idea. You cannot bring an idea to him. He will shoot it down.
What about Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
He doesn't listen to him either. That's why he let him run NXT, because he doesn't give a crap about NXT.
Well, apparently there's we can segue into that too. There's controversy that people are upset with NXT because it's becoming way too main roster like.
Because guess who has his hands on the product as well? Your boy, Father Vince.
Well, Father Vince obviously knows best, so
clearly he doesn't. If the fans are hating on NXT. NXT was like the gold mine. That was like, you heard no complaints about NXT because it was for a certain type of audience, and only that type of audience watched. But now that NXT's become,
because people don't like change. So obviously Vince was trying to go, with the change, and people want to scratch and claw with the change. I mean, they just got to deal with it.
Nothing was wrong with it. You don't change something because if there's nothing wrong with it.
To be on television like Raw and SmackDown and be credible, you have to have a certain type of product, or it's not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
See, this is why I'm corporate right here. This is good stuff. Because obviously I'm talking reality here in the reality era.
Oh, the reality era, yes.
The rest of you marks out there that don't know what's good for business, obviously.
The reality of I'm going to call you guys sheep that don't want things to change in wrestling, even though it's changing everywhere else and it's working everywhere else. Don't want to change.
It's really working for that Outlaw Mud Show or whatever it's called over there on TNT.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if there wasn't, there'd be no one watching.
Well,
no,
I don't watch, so.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Because you don't watch. Oh, yeah, they should just close the doors. Corporate Cappy isn't watching. That's a failure.
I watched 2 segments, and they were both very underwhelming. I watched that debate. That was terrible.
You cannot judge a company off watching 2 things.
And I watched that Legend segment where they were, putting over the Young Bucks, which should not happen. But
no, yeah. Well, okay, why? Why don't you want the Young Bucks to be put over? What do you have against the Young Bucks?
Because they're just marks for themselves. I don't like their style. All they do is super kick 8,000 times during a match.
Well, clearly you haven't watched a whole match.
Well,
if you just think they super kick all match. Everybody super kicks now. Everybody. Everybody super kicks. That is a false argument.
They're vanilla mark midget. Sorry, I shouldn't use that word. But that's what WWE uses. But they're vanilla marks of themselves, and they're just a generic tag team that I don't know why people are so over them for.
No, it's, it could be their accomplishments. They're multiple-time New Japan World Tag Team Champions, ROH, probably everywhere they've gone to become a tag team champion.
I don't know. To me, the Shining Stars were a better tag team, but
right.
Well, that's because you're full of crap.
Yeah. They're so good that they got their first action figures because all the the whole crew there, the whole AEW clique got their first action figures. So good for them.
What's the problem with that?
Why did all 5 of them have to be the first ones to get their action figure? Why couldn't they put somebody else in?
What do you mean all 5 of them?
Whatever, whoever it was, Cody Rhodes, Omega, the Young Bucks, and Jericho. They all got.
Why
their
not?
branding.
They started the company.
Well, why do they have to have the first line? Why can't they?
If
give
you're a new company starting out, why would you put like your low card as the first action figures? That's a good promotion. It's coming from corporate cap. You got to be corporate and business like about this. You're not gonna release freaking like I don't even know. You're not gonna release like a Trent Beretta as your first action figure.
Well, I mean, if you put Dean Ambrose in there, I'm not calling him by his
He does
other
have
name.
a figure.
Well, why wasn't he in the first one?
He is in the first set.
Who? Moxley?
Moxley, Brandy, Cody, Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Chris Jericho. I think I said Cody are the first set.
Why isn't Sean Spears in there?
Why would you start? I know he's my boy and he's from our hometown, but you cannot start a figure line with your mid and lower card. It's their first figs.
It's just ironic that, it would basically be like if the Clique started the company and they had Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And,
isn't that what
Scott Hall.
they did? Isn't that what they did?
Well, they didn't come up with their first line of action figures.
That's because figs weren't they were big back then, but like it's not as big as today. Figs are way more bigger today than they were in the 90s.
I'm just saying that they're too big of marks of themselves. That's all I'm going to say.
You just won't give them a chance. You just won't give them a chance.
You won't, just like you won't give Raw Underground and ThunderDome a chance.
You just crapped on Raw ThunderDome.
That's not the point. Because I'm a WWE guy.
But what?
I can say that. You don't give him credit for anything.
Because Raw Underground is dumb. I'm not the only one.
Listen.
People who watch the show don't like it.
Listen, the Hurt Business is going to come in there and take over, all right?
They're booming.
There's a reason why business is a booming, all right? That because the Hurt Business is out here. Speaking of that, I can't wait to talk about the SummerSlam card, which I'm sure we'll get to after the break.
Yeah, let's get a wrap up for that discussion. We're cutting it there. Give me a Ric Flair woo for that discussion.
That was quality radio.
It's quality radio. Yeah. Actually, before we go to the break, since you want to bring up my mud wrestling company over there, they're doing something right in terms of pandemic, and actually they're doing something really cool in terms of you damn scalpers. I hate scalpers. I cannot stand scalpers. They really tick me off. But they're doing something with these. So AEW is getting fans back in for their August 27th episode of Dynamite. At 10% venue capacity. The show will be open to a limited number of fans wearing mandatory protective masks who will be seated in a specially designed, physically distanced arrangement at the open-air Daly's Place Amphitheater. Again, I still don't agree with this. It could be open air, 10%. I still don't. I still don't think they should be doing fans. They're doing fine. They don't need fans. They've been doing perfectly okay with what they've been doing. So I really don't get this move. This is good. The statement goes on here. The tickets were sold in groups or pods with the intention of keeping fans with their friends and family and safely distanced from the other fans in attendance. We're seeing some of these tickets were being sold on the secondary market in a way to split original pods and therefore potentially combining 2 or more groups of unacquainted fans within the same pod. This was clearly not our intention. Nothing is more important than the health and well-being of our entire AEW family, and it certainly includes our fans. It is an illegal, unethical, and inappropriate move by secondary market sellers, and we intend to police this situation online as well as at the venue itself on the day of the show. To that end, we are asking our fans to inform us if they feel they've purchased tickets that were originally part of a large pod, and we will do what we offer as a remedy. Furthermore, we will be watching any AEW Dynamite tickets on the secondary market, and if we see someone trying to divide a pod for resale, we will cancel that entire original order. It's going to be great to have fans back at our show with social distancing precautions in place that will make these outdoor events feel safe for everyone in attendance. Thank you to all the great wrestling fans support AEW, and that is from Tony Khan, the president and CEO of All Elite Wrestling. So that's incredible in terms of what they're doing with the secondary market, because as everybody knows, the secondary sale market, it could be anything. The resellers are like the worst people on the face of the planet. Like, they're scum. These people that go and buy the tickets up and then resell them for like 8 times the face value. They're scum. I hate these people. And now they're doing it to a company that's trying to create these pods and socially distant within, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's horrible. Like, and they're trying to break these pods up. So I'm glad that they came out and acknowledged that, said they're going to try to police it, and then they're going to try to fix it when people arrive at the venue itself. You know what I mean? And still keep these pods together. So at least they're making an attempt, not just saying, oh, well, too bad. It is what it is. We can't stop that.
Well, maybe they should have done a better job at coming up.
Oh,
with
hold
a
up here. I'm
system
going to pump your brakes right there. I don't ever have seen WWE do something like that. There's like, oh, well, too bad. They're those people.
Well, because WWE has like 30,000 people at their events. I'm like 200 at this one.
Yeah, and?
Regardless, the scalping thing, I agree with that. I hate those people for any concert, sporting event, whatever. They're just the worst type of people. They go in and just buy 200 tickets, or they have a bot do it for them, and then they resell them. Yeah, like this says tickets go on sale at 10 a.m. You get on at 10 a.m. and the tickets are already sold out. It's like, how does that even work? How is that possible? So it's garbage. Those people deserve to be, reprimanded. So I'll give AEW credit. At least they're trying to, at least try to fix what's been going on with the scalping, and because that's really not fair to anybody that actually wanted to socially distance in a pod or whatever that they're trying to do. Like the scalper thing, it needs to stop, and especially for like the first event like that where they really wanted it to be something special. I guess first event back. I mean, I guess they're doing a good job with that. So I will give them credit for trying to future endeavor the scalpers.
I can't believe that they would try something like that. I'm appreciative that they're going to do whatever they can with social distancing. I still, again, don't agree that they should be doing this in the first place. Like they've been doing okay without fans. They've had the wrestlers at ringside who are freaking hilarious, especially like Billy Gunn's son has been a gem at ringside. They've had the production staff and people in the crowd to make up some sort of like fan base that's there making like noise the best they can, and they're like they have their own like bubble and circle created. So I'm not really sure what the fan thing, like what is this accomplishing, especially at a 10% capacity in a state where like it's literally the hotbed. So it's interesting. Maybe
they need to borrow some of Vince's spray to give to everybody.
Oh, yeah. That great spray.
We still don't know what the spray is, but I'm sure we'll find out one day what it is.
It's Lysol and Pine Sol mixed together.
No, I don't know. Sign me up.
Anyways, guys, we'll come back from our last commercial break here. We'll talk about Summer Slam. Sorry, allergies there. SummerSlam, and we'll probably end off the show there. We'll see what we have on the docket. So we're right back here on the Niagara Wrestling Observer and on the Armchair GMs Sports Network.
J&L Flooring is a Niagara-based specialty flooring and design company. They take great pride in providing elite customer service and support. They are a specialty flooring and decor boutique shop with a beautiful showroom, great pricing, and a wide variety and truly unique selection of products. All their products are environmentally friendly and responsibly produced, so you can feel great about your flooring choices. Their goal as a local business is to build authentic relationships based on honesty and integrity that they foster with respect and authenticity. Offering unique and wide range of quality products presented by a knowledgeable and patient team, they connect with their customers to simplify the process to make their life easier and to make their homes beautiful. Visit them at 4424 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls, or find out more at jnlflooring.com. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. through 5 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. 905-358-3299 J&L Flooring.
The Spicy Olive Bar and Grill is located on the top of Clifton Hill and just a 5-minute walk from the majestic Niagara Falls. It is conveniently nestled in the heart of the tourist district. A family-owned and operated business, the Spicy Olive opened its doors in May of 2003 and has since been established as an authentic and unique Italian restaurant and bar. Its rustic ambiance and time-worn finishing provide a warm and inviting dining experience. Offering an array of delicious dishes, they specialize in authentic Italian cuisine, homemade sauces, fresh ingredients, and consistently providing a strong foundation on which they build their menu. As night falls, the Spicy Olive shifts to a lively lounge where drinks and live music come together to make a perfect evening. For more than 15 years, they have provided not only for their dedicated locals, but their customers from all over the world with authentic Italian food and great live entertainment. Open daily 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. for dinner and till 2 a.m. for drinks. Check out their new menu and book reservations on their website at Spicy Olive Bar and Grill, it's with an E at the end, .com, or call 905-371-2323 for reservations as well. The Spicy Olive Bar and Grill.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Niagara Wrestling Observer, right here on the Armchair GM's Sports Network. We are here to finish off the show today. Great episode. Talk about that SummerSlam. Go over briefly with, I guess we could do mini predictions. I don't know. We'll just kind of talk about what each match means to us and give a small prediction here. But first. I know AEW is not happening until tonight, and NXT happened on Wednesday, but we should still talk about the ratings. That's right. The Wednesday Night War ratings, somewhat, I guess, half a rating because both shows didn't happen on the same night. But we still talk about the ratings as terms to other TV shows happening that night. We'll talk about Wednesday. NXT drawing an 853,000 people. And a nice rating there for NXT on Wednesday. So let's see what they went up against. Shall we, Cobra Cappy?
I want to know what Raw and SmackDown did, blowing everybody out of the water. But...
Oh, yeah. We'll see. Let's see. NXT. I'm looking at the chart here. They finished 23rd on Wednesday. They were beaten out by such shows as Guys Grocery Games at 21st. The NHL quarterfinals between the Montreal Canadiens and the Philadelphia Flyers at 19. We had Married at First Sight at 16. The Ingram Angle at 15. Ooh. A show called Hannity, number 12. Not to be confused with Sanity. NBA playoffs at number 11. Can't see the team. It looks like the Lakers were beat them at number 11. Real Housewives or Beverly Hills at number 9. Inside the NBA playoffs at number 7. And some show called America's Choice 2020 on CNN. So I guess the whole presidential stuff. Obviously, that's going to take over everything at number 1. They drew actually a 1 million rating on that day.
Wow.
Sorry. A 1.07 in the 18 to 49 demographic, which is the key demo. Okay. So yeah, those are those. We'll see what AEW does tonight. So 853 for NXT. We'll see what AEW draws tonight with lots of stuff going on, especially like hockey, NBA, NXT TakeOver 30 is happening tonight, so it'll be interesting to see what AEW can draw out of tonight. It'll be very tough, but they built a stacked show, so we'll see what happens. We'll talk about the WWE, and talk about SummerSlam, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. And I'm looking at the card. Only 8 matches. Wow. Are you kidding
Vince
me?
is listening.
Are you serious? You're telling me there's not 20 matches in the docket beginning at 12 noon all the way to midnight? Come on. This ain't a Big 4 pay-per-view. Come on.
No, Vince listens to the people. He made his show smaller.
Right. Yeah, okay. That's what he's doing. He's listening to the people. Just like that promo from a couple years ago. Remember that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're going to give back to the fans.
They really lived up to that promo.
I think they did an all right job.
But 8 matches on the docket. It looks like they're all championship matches, except for 2. 2 matches out of 8 are non-championship matches.
So, this is a Big 4 pay-per-view. All the titles should be defended.
Are we sure this is not Clash of Champions? In disguise?
I don't know where the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match is, but
that'll be a pre-show because it doesn't list a pre-show here. So it'll probably be a pre-show match.
Can't wait for a pre-show match. I mean, we're probably going to get Lana and Natalia versus Liv Morgan.
Yeah. That should be the main event.
Right.
That should be the main event. Anyways, let's start with what we got listed here on the good old Wikipedia. We had the first match. We had the Street Profits of Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford versus Andrade and Angel Garza. What a team they have been. Actually, I've seen a couple of highlights throughout the last couple of months here, since I have nothing better to do in COVID just to be on a computer. Those two are not bad. I mean, I'd rather prefer Andrade by himself, in my opinion. I think the guy works better as a singles guy. But, I mean, that was his NXT days. Clearly, main roster, they scrap anything you've ever done in NXT. So, except for actually the Street Profits are the same. Street Profits are like their same selves. I don't know what they did a couple weeks ago with Montez Ford. That was kind of weird to me, and probably something that probably never should have been done or tried and attempt that. I don't know if you've seen it. He had like some sort of heart failure thing. He just collapsed in the ring for no reason, and they're like blaming Zelina for like poisoning him. I was like, what?
Some good television.
I don't know, but again, Andrade's sick by himself. I don't know, but Angel Garza, that's another sick talent. I'm not really sure where he's from. I don't know if they signed him from like a Mexican independent company or whatnot. But pulling him up looks like he spent his time in looks like a bunch of AAA. That's it, AAA, and then the Mexican independent circuit. And actually, he was on Impact Wrestling for 1 year.
Yeah.
Where he wrestled alongside Laredo Kid, a.k.a. Lince Dorado.
Good stuff coming from there.
Yeah, and then he was in the WWE as Cruiserweight Champion in the NXT Breakout Tournament. He was in there. So, yeah, he hasn't really had a big career, but I think they found a gem in that guy from what I've seen.
Yeah, I think him and Andrade have some potential. Obviously, Andrade has potential to be like a world champion singles guy, but for now, him and Angel Garza are a tag team with Zelina Vega, kind of this like, Latino stable. Yeah. And you know what? I think it's a good matchup against the Street Profits. It's actually probably going to be one of the best matches of the night, I think. I think this has potential, but we've seen what WWE's done with tag team wrestling or hasn't done with tag team wrestling. So
they've kind of put that on a back burner.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because tag team wrestling can be so good when it's done properly. But again, I think this is a good, solid matchup. And you know what? I think Andrade and Angel Garza win the titles here. I'm going to go with the new stable there to take out the Street Profits.
All right. Wow, that's an interesting one. I'm looking at it on paper again. I've this comes from a guy that tunes into highlights more than watches the actual program itself. So my picks are going to be really I think going to be out there in terms of anything. God, man, I seen actually people compare Angel Garza to maybe like the next Eddie Guerrero. So that's kind of big. If you're comparing this guy to like the next Eddie, you better be right. So yeah, and I hope they're not just doing it because he's Mexican, because that'd be just that's like stereotypical. But as a winner, I don't know. I think Street Profits. I'm going to pick my boy Street Profits. I was so high on them when they were NXT. I actually have in my background right now behind me the Street Profits cups that they handed out to the fans when I went to NXT TakeOver Toronto. So I'm going to stick with my boys, and I'm picking the Street Profits to retain there.
Okay.
Yeah. Move on here. We got the WWE Championship. So everyone was wondering what the heck was for months. There's like the people were wondering what the heck the match was going to be at SummerSlam for Drew, and God, they picked a nice fresh young talent in Randy Orton to face him at SummerSlam.
Yeah, somebody that's never had a chance before. I like it. WWE was giving new talent the push here.
He's a nice rookie, man. He's coming up from the independent circuit, man. Good for Randy Orton, man. He's done well here in his nice young career.
Okay, we say that, but Randy Orton has actually done a really good job with what he's been doing at the last couple of months. Like, stuff with Edge was good. I think Edge really got him over as a really big heel. And now what he's punted Shawn Michaels, he's punted Ric Flair, he's taken out Christian. Like he's taken a Big Show, your boy. He's taken him out. So
why does this sound familiar?
Going back to his, it's basically a hybrid of his Legend Killer and like the new Psycho Randy Orton. Like it's a mixture of the two, and he's done a good job. You got to give him that. He's really gotten over as a top heel once again.
Now I'm confused. Remember, like, was it a year or two ago that this guy was like said like, I'm done being full time. Like I want to transition to part time, and kind of want to spend more time with his family. Where do you go from that to this? Like to going back to completely full-time schedule and getting a championship match at SummerSlam with all indications are pointing towards Orton actually winning it here.
Well, because Brock Lesnar isn't around to be the top heel, so obviously they needed somebody on Raw to take that and run with it. Obviously,
I hope he's being a company guy here and he's wanting to stay and they're not forcing him to stay. That's all I want out of this guy. Because I have no problem with Randy Orton, the wrestler. I'm not a fan of his promo work. I like his actual actions more than his words. I just hope they're not holding him against his will here.
Well, if Vince is going to pay him, what's he going to say no for?
Because he wants to spend time with his wife and kids. He said it like a year or two ago. Like he doesn't want to be full time anymore. Like he's done it. He's done it. He actually said himself that he'd rather see younger talent like come in and take that place. But clearly, like Vince doesn't want to let go. I know Drew McIntyre can say like isn't one of those talents, but I mean he's been around the block and back. He's not an up and coming star they're giving a shot to. But I don't really. I'm not sitting there criticizing Drew. I think Drew is the perfect WWE champion. He's finally getting his well due like moment in the spotlight here, and I want to say Drew McIntyre, and I would hope Drew McIntyre retains here, but I'm going with Randy Orton because I can't see him not winning this match. Because it's sad to say it's typical WWE to do that.
Oh, they're trying to give the up and coming talent the shot, you know.
Yeah, the young Randy Orton, who was like what 23, probably. I don't know.
Yeah,
never heard of this guy Randy Orton.
Yeah, when he won his first title. But I'm gonna say Drew retains here because I really think that they do believe in Drew as the top guy, and having Randy Orton put him over is gonna be even that much better. So I'm hoping that Drew McIntyre retains here because until fans come back, we're not really gonna see what his potential is as champion because it's really been a different product over the last 6 months. So I really don't want to hold that against Drew. It's just the nature of what wrestling has become in 2020. So I really hope that they let him hold the belt until we can actually see what the crowd reaction is going to be for him, and if he can actually, be the guy that can sell tickets for people to come to the arenas. So I really want to see McIntyre have a long title run, and I hope that he retains here.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so. Next we got what the heck? So we got one member of the Hurt Business.
Yeah.
MVP with his boys but his boys are banned from ringside in this match. The Lashley and Benjamin can't be there. But it's for the United States Championship against Apollo Crews, who's finally a champ. Man, I've been waiting to see Apollo as a champion of some sort forever, man. Why did it take so long to make this guy a champion? This guy is
good things come to those who wait.
Dude, when this guy stepped into the company, he was championship material. Like, he was from day one. It's like I put him in the same category as like a Cesaro, man. This guy, like Cesaro should have been world champion a long time ago. And I don't know why he's never been world champion, but I'm just glad Apollo's getting his due here. And first off, like, what do you think of the new title, the new U.S. title? Do you like it?
I really like the old belt, so I have like a biased opinion towards the new belt, but I don't know.
Some people say like the new belt, the old belt looks more cartoony now with this new belt put beside it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like it is different, so. Obviously, change might be for the good here, but the old U.S. title is still going to be iconic to me. That's why I just, or even the one that, or I'm thinking of like the old IC championship that Cody Rhodes brought back in the day. But I don't know. I'm still on the fence about the new U.S. title. We'll have to see if it's like fine wine, if it grows on me after or through time. But for now, I'm still missing the old U.S. title.
So as for the match itself, like the MVP, man, they just signed this guy to like a multi-year contract.
Because he's money, man. MVP brings money, okay?
But instead of signing new talent, let's bring back old rehashed talent.
Coming from you there, AEW.
Come on.
Coming from you over there with all your...
You can't criticize me when you guys do the same thing.
The poster of all the former WWE guys that are now in AEW.
But if you criticize me, then I'm allowed to criticize you for the same exact thing.
Listen, MVP deserves to be back. He's a good manager. And you know what? He might win the U.S. title here. He might win the U.S. title. I'm going with MVP here, man. MVP.
What?
Okay? What? MVP's winning the U.S. title, and the Hurt Business will be booming after this match.
Well, that's because you're full of crap.
Listen, the Hurt Business needs to look credible, so why not have MVP, the leader of it, be the U.S. title or U.S.
He was
champion?
just U.S. champion. They can't flip-flop his belt. This ain't the 24/7 title.
Well, Apollo Cruz's mic skills need some work there, so until he can prove to me that he can cut a half-decent promo, I think you got to give it to the...
He has! I heard 2 promos from him this month.
Oh, to me, he's inferior to MVP, so I'm going with Montel Vontavious Porter to win the title here, and the Hurt Business is going to go on to do great things because they're my boys.
I'm sticking with Apollo. Apollo's winning it. Screw him and his boys. They're not going to be at ringside. He's not going to be able to do it by himself. If he does it by himself, I'll be shocked.
You're going to hit the playmaker for the win. Yeah. That's what we're going to see.
He's going to have Shelton and Bobby Lashley getting on the Zoom call and distract them from the...
Yeah, they're gonna take over. They're gonna take over the screens and distract Apollo Crews. You know it's coming.
I'm calling that. That's probably gonna happen.
Let's go. MVP for the U.S. Championship.
All right. So next match, you got a street fight. Ooh, a street fight.
This is such good shit.
I don't even want to talk about this. Seth Rollins better win this match, or I don't understand why. Like, I guess Dominic is now training as a legit professional wrestler now with his father, and
he's got ring gear made up. One of the seamstress tweeted out he's made his ring gear up.
Good for him, I guess. But to me, Seth Rollins is your top heel, basically. I don't know why they don't have him in the spot that Randy Orton's in, but regardless of that, Seth Rollins needs to win this match because he should not be losing to a 20-year-old kid in Dominic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Rollins versus Dominic Mysterio, street fight. Murphy's going to be with Rollins. Ray's going to be with his obviously his son. Man, has this storyline been weird? I'm still not a fan of Murphy being a little sidekick. I hope eventually there's a payoff to him because Murphy is such an underrated talent, man. The guy is so good in the ring that he deserves a lot more than being a little crony to Seth Rollins, but hopefully there's a big payoff coming with that. As for Dominic Mysterio, man, did you see the footage or the pictures from his kendo stick shots?
Yeah.
My
beat up.
God.
Yeah, he got beat up.
He was getting people turning sympathetic for him on wrestling Twitter. People were saying this was too harsh by WWE. And I'm what? This is what they sign up for. We can't be too sympathetic here. I'm just saying the kid bruises easy. That's probably it.
Yeah, I mean he chose to want to become a wrestler. That's what you get.
They look like they hurt though, man. Those kendo stick shots. Holy, he was getting bleh.
Yeah, I mean
anyway.
Good for him for taking the bumps, I guess.
Yeah. For this match though, I don't know. I just think the way from what I've seen it's been going. You're going to pick Rollins. I'm actually going to pick Dominic Mysterio here. I think he's going to pick up his first big victory, and it's going to be in a surprise fashion. Something's going to happen, and it's not going to be clean. So, especially because it's a street fight. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, maybe Ray gets involved and helps his son win his first match. I don't know, but to me, I'm not a fan of this. But anyway,
you should be a fan of this next match because it has one of your girls in there. We have the Raw Women's Championship for Asuka versus current champion Sasha Banks, who Sasha and Bayley seem to just scoop up all the women's titles and said, "Yeah, no one else is allowed to have them."
Yeah, they got this. The women's.
I think we can include both match because it's a back-to-back. We have the women's and Raw, the Raw and SmackDown women's titles, both going up against Asuka. So Asuka could pull a Jericho here,
win both belts in the same night.
Yeah.
Maybe they will. Maybe Vince wants to do that so that Jericho isn't known as the only person to ever do that.
I can see him doing it, throwing a shot at Jericho's. Jericho's been, man, he's off the walls on Twitter, man. You guys just calling himself a demo god and all this stuff. Oh God, I think Jericho kind of needs to tone it down a little bit, but God, he's going nuts here at the end of his career. But I could see him doing something like that. But I don't know. How do you feel? Do you think how do you feel about your girl holding? Making basically history here.
Oh, time. I mean, she wasn't ever able to retain a title ever and never been able to win a big pay-per-view match. So,
well, she hasn't retained this title yet. This Raw Women's title, she's only won it. I don't think she's ever defended it yet. So this will be her first title defense. So we'll have to see.
No, I mean, I'm not putting it past WWE, but for the fact that they haven't given her any respect whatsoever, I think Asuka wins the belt from Sasha here, but I think Bayley retains the SmackDown Women's title.
Ooh, and then you think this finally creates the... I mean, you can't... I don't know if this creates the Sasha and Bayley turn, because if you wanted these two to go at it, you'd want them to go at it at a big pay-per-view like SummerSlam, so... I don't know, I
want to know which match is going up first, because
Yeah.
I feel like whichever match goes up first is really going to dictate if somebody wins or loses here.
You know what I'm going with? And I this is like, sorry to do this jabbing. I think this is so typical WWE. I think Asuka wins both belts, and I think Sasha and Bayley win it back a week later, because they're doing a pay-per-view a week later on Payback.
Payback!
Yeah. Because it's a great idea to do a pay-per-view a week later.
You know, I'm picking a off-the-wall pick here by saying that Charlotte Flair comes back and wins both belts.
Oh, from her quote-unquote elective surgery?
Yeah, she comes back at Payback and wins both belts from whoever has them.
Instant title shot for returning.
Because Charlotte hasn't been in the title picture for like 2 months now, which is like a career high. So, I mean that's a long drought for her to not hold a championship in like the last 2 months. So she's got to come back and win it, right?
I can't. I can't do it. If she comes back and we hear like I'm done. So are you sticking with Asuka and Bayley?
I'm saying, yeah, I'm gonna say Asuka wins the title from Banks and then Bayley retains, and that might cause some tension. But I think Charlotte eventually comes back and wins both belts. How about that?
For Payback. I'll give you your props if that actually happens, like 100%. I'll let you rip AEW for 50 minutes straight without an interruption if you want, if that happens.
Beautiful.
All right. So next match, we got a Falls Count Anywhere match. I don't know how this is going to go. I have a feeling half of this match is going to be cinematic, especially for Falls Count Anywhere. You know what I mean? Like they end up going backstage, and that's where it cuts out, and we go into the cinematic playback.
Yeah.
So Braun Strowman, the Universal Champion, against the Fiend Bray Wyatt. We've seen their antics the last couple of weeks. Braun Strowman with his new look. I guess he got rid of that receding mohawk, whatever you think you want to call that. He
looks like
now.
Big Show now.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to say it.
Are they literally trying to make him look like Big Show? Without the singlet.
Stop. Please stop. They're not going to make... He's going to cut the singlet soon. Braun Strowman.
They moved like Andre to Big Show to Braun Strowman, you know?
They have to have one big guy all the time.
Yeah, one big singlet guy. One big black singlet.
Watch him go to the singlet.
This whole thing with Alexa Bliss being involved, I don't like it.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's just dumb. I don't know, like, now she's like trying to fall for the Fiend.
Oh,
and,
you know,
like,
her stands are all over it, man. Her freaking the Alexa Bliss fan base. Oh my god, I'm sorry, not including you into them, but I'm sure you know about the certain fan base that she has that are just absolutely like obsessed with this girl. I don't know why. Why are people so obsessed with this lady? Like it's creepy. It's borderline, like even going over the border of creepiness. Like they're like their Twitter names of Bliss fan Angel 45 and like their pictures,
profile pictures. Yeah,
what the hell?
It's
Take it easy.
At least you didn't get Sonya Deville yet, but
Oh.
I mean, I'm sure. Anyways, we'll get to that. But the whole, I don't know, the Alexa Bliss thing being involved in these two, I don't like it. But I guess they needed to add some context to it besides the whole Wyatt family nonsense that they've been trying to do. And I guess Braun has now come up with like a more serious persona now that he wants to like end the Fiend and what he did to him in the past. So
I'm glad that they brought that up. You know what I mean? And like earlier on, like they had Bray Wyatt dressed as like the old Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they kind of incorporated all that. That makes a great storyline.
And I mean, this feud has potential to be great, but I don't know what they're going to do with this in the long run. I don't know if this ends after. Well, we're probably going to get the payback match because we know the payback is going to be just basically the repeat of this card. But hopefully after that, like they could both move on to something. And I don't know what the future holds for either of these two. I don't know like if Braun retains who his next opponent is, if Bray wins who his next opponent is. I don't know. I'm on the fence about this, but for the sake of the feud hopefully coming to an end, I hope that Braun wins and just moves on to something else against another top heel, I guess. But I'd love to see the Fiend win because obviously that character is unbelievable right now, probably their best character they got. So I like both these guys. So I don't know. I'm gonna say Braun, but I'd also like to see the Fiend win as well.
Yeah. For me, it's tough. Like if it doesn't do if it does zero cinematic and it's all like out front, you know what I mean? I think Braun has definitely the edge over the Fiend Bray Wyatt, which is weird. It shouldn't be. If you have a character like Bray Wyatt, this guy should be built as like the guy like forever. But they have their way of doing things. I'm gonna stick with my pick. I think it's gonna be still half cinematic because of the false count anywhere stipulation. I think in that term, I think Bray Wyatt holds the advantage over over Braun Strowman with the cinematic factor. I think he wins back the Universal title and we get the Bray Wyatt belt back, that Fiend belt, Universal belt.
The one they wanted to sell for like 20 grand or whatever it was. I don't know.
That didn't last long. So that's what makes me think that they're going to bring it back. So I'm gonna go with the Fiend. I'm gonna pick the Fiend Bray Wyatt here.
Wow, I mean, he did win against Big Match John in that last
Big Match John, yeah,
in the cinematic match. So I mean, he's got to beat Strowman in the cinematic match. You know, like that's the way it goes. Bray Wyatt's going to be like the what's his name, the Mansoor of Saudi Arabia. He can't lose, just like Mansoor can't lose in Saudi. This guy, Bray Wyatt, can't lose a cinematic match.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
Technically, he did beat Braun at the last cinematic match they had, but it wasn't for the title, apparently. So, like, when he brought him into the swamp or whatever, like, he did beat him in that match. So
what a way to end.
Yeah, if this is straight-up wrestling, I think Braun has it, but if it's a cinematic match, then I'm sure the Fiend's going to somehow find a way to win it.
Yeah. That's that. And then we have... well, this match first started out as a hair versus hair match. Now it's been switched to a no disqualification, loser leaves WWE match. We have Mandy Rose against Sonya Deville, and I'm sure everyone knows about now the mess Sonya Deville has gotten into the last week or two with some stalker of hers from one of her Twitter fans stalked her out through Instagram, found out where she lived, and literally almost kidnapped her.
We think the Alexa Bliss stands are bad. Like this is
another
like
level.
Overboard. This is just like if I was a wrestler, I'd be feared for having people like this.
She got to move away now. Like that's probably not the only guy, but do you see a picture of that guy? Oof, oof. God.
Yeah, there's obviously some issues going on with that guy, but that's a story for another day. But it's unfortunate that stuff happens because people can't separate character and their on-screen persona from their real life actual, from their real life personal life. It's unfortunate that people can't just let them have their personal life. But again, that's what the nature of social media has become, where people get an inside scoop to their personal life. Unfortunately, some wrestlers choose to talk about it more than others, and this is the consequence of something that can happen negatively from that.
Yeah. So as for this match itself, I haven't really been paying attention to this.
Oh
I've tuned in and out. Like the last time I tuned in, I think Otis was like obsessed with Mandy, and Mandy like finally like I don't know. I've been in and out of this. I know that like Sonya and Mandy they used to be a team that they don't like each other, and then like Sonya went with Dolph, and like it was really weird, and I don't know. It didn't interest me at all. Like I don't like those kinds of storylines in wrestling. So I don't know who to pick here, but I knew from going from a hair versus hair match, I was sitting there looking at both of them and going like, I can't see either of them wanting to lose their hair because they both have like, fantastic hair. So it was weird. And I think the stipulation has been changed because now I think the stipulation has made the match too obvious. I think Sonya's going to be losing this match to go deal with whatever that's happening with that lawsuit. So I think she needs to be off TV for a while. So obviously I'm picking Sonya Deville here.
You mean Mandy?
Mandy to win. but Sonya Deville to lose and leave quote unquote leave WWE. I hate these matches because they're not actually leaving. They're just, it means they're like, it should be called like a no disqualification, I'm gonna go away for a while match.
Yeah, like the Poochie, they're gonna go away to their home planet for a while and come back. But no, like obviously that's the elephant in the room there. Sonya's got to go deal with whatever she's dealing with. So I don't blame her for doing that. So they had to. I think this hair versus hair match is going to be stupid anyway. So I'm actually glad that they changed it so that she can go and deal with that. Because I can't see it, like you said, they both look weird, bald, and I mean, Sonya did cut a little bit of Mandy's hair in one of the. She attacked her backstage and like
I think
gave her
she's
a bloody
wearing
nose.
What's it called? Like those the thing girls wear, extensions. Anyway, she cut an extension because Mandy's got really nice hair now that with short cut.
Yeah, she's got the new T-shirt out now that says "Soccer Mom" or whatever. Like it's legit a T-shirt on WWE Shop. It's like Mandy Rose Soccer Mom Goddess or something stupid like that. Like hair, like because her hair is short. And I don't know. The shit was so stupid. I'm glad that they changed the stipulation. Hopefully, it's a decent match. And you know what? Sonya going away for a while. Hopefully when she comes back, she gets some sort of push for a title because I think Sonya Deville has a lot of potential to be a SmackDown or Raw Women's Champion in the future, and getting away from this Mandy Rose storyline I think is going to be good for both of them, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. So we'll see how SummerSlam is. I know we won't be tuning in too much because we have a fantasy football draft, baby.
Yeah, I'll have it on in the background with the volume on. How about that?
Yeah. You'll let me know. I don't think I'm going to have it on. We'll see. But those are our picks. Nothing really else to talk about, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let us know. Make sure you add us up on Twitter. Add myself at Real Kyle Masters. You can add my co-host here at Corporate Cappy. And then the podcast itself at NWO Pod on Twitter. Let us know what you guys think. Follow us. And we'll be back, not sure when, some other time.
Yeah, we'll talk about Payback in about a week or two.
All right. Yeah, we'll Payback predictions.
Out of the same card that we got SummerSlam out of.
Yeah, it'll be great. Maybe we'll have the same picks. It's good shit.
This is such good shit.
You had to throw one more in there, eh?
I had to throw one more just because we're getting to the outro note. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This has been another episode of the Niagara Wrestling Observer right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network, your source for North American sports coverage by sports fans for sports fans. Make sure you are following us on all our social media outlets on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All links will be located down in the video description of this podcast below. If not, make sure you go over to our link tree. Hit up our link tree, and that's easy to find. If you go to our website, you can find our link tree. There's a link there. Or you can go to, again, the video version of this podcast. Gets you to the link tree, gets you everywhere you need to go. We are available on Spreaker, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Everywhere you're getting your podcast, folks, you can find the Armchair GM's Sports Network and find the Niagara Wrestling Observer and other great podcasts that we deliver on this network itself. Thank you to all our great sponsors who help keep us on the air. Make sure you guys go check out your local sponsors if you are from the Niagara region, and check out our sponsors. Thank you to each and every single one of them. This has been another edition of the Wrestling Observer, or Niagara Wrestling Observer, right here at the Armchair GM Sports Network. I'm your host, as always, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, joined by my co-host, as always, his Mr. Corporate himself, the boss, Corporate Cappy. He's right. And we'll see you guys next time right here on the Niagara Wrestling Observer. See you later.
You are nothing to me.